Hey guys, it's Tiff and welcome back to my channel. You already know what today's video is, so I do not need to tell you twice. What is up? Okay guys, so we're just gonna hop right on into this. So the first book I read in February, and also my favorite book I read in February, is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I want to say, if you don't know this already, I found out after I read this, Christina and Lauren are two different people. So if you don't know that, now you know. But yeah, this is 100% my favorite book I read this month. This book did things to me. I absolutely loved this book with everything in me. It is just such an amazing story. And obviously it's a 5 out of 5 stars. I would rate this 6 out of 5 stars if I could, but 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It is just the cutest story ever, and this book literally made me feel so many different types of ways. I was crying, blushing, smiling, laughing all throughout reading this book. And also there was just certain like quotes in this book that made me literally feel like I was being transported back into time when I was in high school, when me and Makai just first started dating. And it was just such a crazy feeling because the book has never done that to me before, so it was just so insane. And I literally love this book so much. I do have a reading vlog of me reading this up on my channel. It does have spoilers, so I guess if you don't want to know spoilers because you've never read it, don't watch it, but you should also go watch it. But here's a little piece of the synopsis for you guys, so if you don't know what it's about, you are about to find out. Macy is settling into an ambitious, if emotionally tepid routine. Work hard as a new pediatrics resident, plan her wedding to an older, financially secure man, keep her head down and her heart tucked away. But when she runs into Elliot, the first and only love of her life, the careful bubble she's constructed begins to dissolve. Once upon a time, Elliot was Macy's entire world, only to break her heart on the very night he declared his love for her. 5 out of 5 stars, like I said, 6 out of 5 if I could. Amazing, absolutely love it. 10 out of 10 recommend. Literally go read it right now if you haven't already. Okay, so the next book I read in February is Rush, which is the first in the Breathless trilogy by Maya Banks. This book was about a 4.5 out of 5 stars for me. I really did enjoy this. This book had me hooked right from the start, and I literally read this in like a day and a half. The only thing is there is one scene in this book that just made me very uncomfortable and I really did not like. I will say this is the smuttiest book I've ever read, and it's not the smut that made me uncomfortable. It's just there's this one scene that happens in this book that seriously just makes me so uncomfortable, and I really hated reading it. So for that reason, it's not a 5-star, but it was a very good book. I really enjoyed it. When Gabe Hamilton saw Mia Cresswell walk into the ballroom for his hotel's grand opening, he knew he was going to hell for what he had planned. After all, Mia is his best friend's little sister, except she's not so little anymore, and Gabe has waited a long time to act on his desires. As Gabe pulls her into his provocative world, she realizes there's a lot she doesn't know about him or how exacting his demands can be. The relationship is intense and obsessive, but as they cross the line from secret sexual odyssey to something deeper, their affair runs the risk of being exposed and is vulnerable to the betrayal far more intimate than either expected. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, so the next book I read this month was Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I was super excited to finally read this. I did read this for a reading sad books for a week video, so if you haven't seen that, you should totally go watch it, linked below. Anyways, this book was definitely a 5-star read for me. I absolutely loved this book. The story, just everything about it, I loved it. This is definitely my second favorite book I read this month. I love Bree and Archer's relationship. They are just so cute, and I went into this book completely blind. I literally did not know a single thing about this book, so it was really nice going into this book blind. I swear, I feel like I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much if I literally knew some of the things about this book, but like I had never even read the synopsis or anything. Like I went into it completely blind, and it was so good. I absolutely loved it. I wanted to lose myself in this small town in Maine, to forget everything I had left behind, the sound of the rain, the blood, the coldness of the gun against my skin. For 6 months, each breath has been a reminder that I survived and my dad didn't. I'm almost safe again, but the moment I meet Archer Hale, my entire world tilts on its axis and never rights itself again. This book is just so good. Literally worth the hype 100%. Okay, the next book I read this month, also in that reading sad books for a week video, is The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. I read this in one day. I started it one morning and I finished it before I went to bed. This book is so good. 5 stars. I know I have a lot of 5-star reads this month, and a lot of you are probably like, there's stars. No way, those are all 5 stars, but we each rate our books differently, so if I want to think they're 5 stars to me, then I can. Anyways, this book was just so good. From the moment I started it, I was immediately hooked on the story. Eden was always good at being good. Starting high school didn't change who she was, but the night her brother's best friend rapes her, Eden's world capsizes. What was once simple is now complex. What Eden once loved, who she once loved, she now hates. What she thought she knew to be true are now lies, and nothing makes sense anymore. And she knows she's supposed to tell someone what happened, but she can't, so she buries it instead, and buries the way she used to be. So this book is told in 4 different parts. So you have how the book starts is right after she gets raped, freshman year, and then it goes to sophomore, junior, and senior year, and it's just so good. I feel like this book was done beautifully. It really shows how her relationships with everyone around her has changed, how her reactions to things have changed, how she literally just completely tries to change every single thing about herself because of this traumatic event that happened to her, and it's just so good. I would really recommend every single person to read this book. And the last book that I read this month is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan. I kid you not, this book broke my heart. This book broke my heart. Broke it in pieces, literally in pieces. This book is a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. I can't give it a 5 star just because it was a very slow burn at the beginning. It took me quite a bit of reading this book to actually get invested and really into the book. Before then, I was just kind of reading it, not fully invested, I guess. Literally from the first chapter, you know what's gonna happen. They tell you without telling you how this book is gonna end. But once you get to that point of what happens, it still hits you like a ton of bricks. I literally sobbed. I was literally sitting there sobbing. Will say I kind of hate the end because I feel like the end just left off on a really weird note. Like maybe this author wanted this book to end with like basically no closure. I don't know, but it literally ended on a really weird note. Like I said, it literally broke my heart into a million pieces, but that was literally the point of me reading it, so it served its purpose pretty well. Autumn and Finn used to be inseparable, but then something changed, or they changed. Now they do their best to ignore each other. Autumn has her boyfriend Jamie and her close-knit group of friends. Finn has become that boy at school that everyone wants to be around. That still doesn't stop the way Autumn feels every time she and Finn cross paths, and the growing nagging thought that maybe things could have been different. Maybe they should be together, and as time passes, Autumn realizes she might not get another chance to make things right before it's too late. If he had been with me, everything would have been different. And after reading this book, that quote hits so hard that I am literally tearing up. Oh my god, this book literally just broke my heart. But yeah, these are all the books I read in February. If you guys enjoyed this video, you should definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are not already, because we have a lot of fun over here and we want you to join the fun. But with that being said, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.